was a milestone achievement for Papua New Guinea as it launched its first ever national trade policy. Present for the occasion was the Deputy Prime Minister, his ministers, development partners and other stakeholders. The document is the first for Papua New Guinea since independence. It was formulated through partnership with the European Union. It will act as a guide on how Papua New Guinea conducts trade with other countries. For the past 40 years, PNG experienced unfavorable trade with its partners. Its imports exceeds its exports, resulting in huge losses. Continuous reduction in tariffs to allow trade also contributed to this loss. That has all resulted due to an absence of a trade policy.
And I can give you some glaring examples of what happens when you don't have a trade policy that's driven by very sound guiding principles. We've lowered all our tariffs, in many cases lower than many other countries in the region. As a result, we've suffered from a huge loss of income, which has affected our revenue streams coming into our coffers. And it's one of the reasons why we're struggling as a nation at this time. Because we move faster than everybody else. We listen to people telling us to keep reducing the tariffs. And we've never asked why. Under this policy, we have to ask why. Why do we just keep reducing the tariffs? Because somebody else tells us to reduce the tariffs.
Richard Maru was the minister then in the O'Neill Dion government responsible for trade, commerce and industry. He has opposed many trade deals not in the interest of PNG, but with the new trade policy he hopes to see PNG's interest protected.
We've entered into trade agreements that are not in the interest of Papua New Guinea, where we are losing taxable income, where we are losing out on exports. We are giving market access to other countries who are not giving us market access. This policy will now guide against that. No agreements will be done unless there is a cost-benefit analysis of why we should go into a particular trade agreement. That is one of the key reasons why I've objected and opposed the PACER Plus agreement that Australia has been pushing. And New Zealand has been pushing and trying to shove down our throat. I'm not convinced PNG will gain from such a trade agreement. And this policy will now say we cannot enter into any agreement unless it will benefit Papua New Guinea.
The trade policy comes at a time of increased free trade and protectionist measures. However, Deputy Prime Minister Charles Abel is confident Papua New Guinea will fare well in this changing global trend.
It is more important than ever for our country to have a trade policy that is clear and responsive to changes in the global trading environment going forward. The national trade policy will help us to reposition ourselves to take full advantage of globalization so that we offset the costs while maximizing the benefits.
European Union has been a long-time trading partner with Papua New Guinea. As it celebrates its 40 years of partnership with Papua New Guinea this year, it assured PNG of its commitment to ensure effective implementation of the trade policy.
And free trading with Papua New Guinea could not be an exception. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me at this point to make a few remarks with regard to our economic partnership agreement, which was signed in 2009 and ratified and came into force in 2011. Because of the duty and quota-free access to the large EU market, Papua New Guinea exports to European Union increased considerably. In just 5 years, from 1.7 billion kina to around 2.5. A good 50%. But how Papua New Guinea exports increased so much and so rapidly? This is because the country built its production capacity by attracting investment. In the tuna industry, 5 major onshore tuna processing factories have been established and 2 more are planned. These investments in turn created jobs, directly and indirectly, mainly for women. The Economic Partnership Agreement did also have a positive impact of fisheries governance. Whereas illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing remains a challenge not only for Papua New Guinea but for the entire region, the European Union acknowledges the efforts and advancements of Papua New Guinea in promoting a whole-government approach to address the issues. Based on this experience, the European Union encourages the Papua New Guinea to play a more prominent role and support other countries in the fight against illegal fishing in the Pacific.